Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle to triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you share, like, and subscribe. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. Hello, hello, hello. For those of you that are already jumping on live, I so appreciate you being here, hanging out, and supporting us. Thank you for joining us today on this episode of Her Version. The Her Version platform is built on storytelling and the understanding that many times our greatest learning experiences come from learning from other people's stories. Today, I am speaking with an amazing woman named Geeta. Geeta made a very emotional pivot in her life that led her to her passion. Once a successful scientist in the pharma industry with over 12 years of experience, and now a well-established certified strategic abundance mindset coach and certified life and executive coach, helping clients see clarity and positive changes in their personal and professional lives. Following her heart, not her pocketbook, Geeta took a leap and had a trust in herself to be able to succeed in an industry that was calling her name. Now, many years later, she is an expert in her field and is here to talk about the importance of trusting yourself and going for it. Welcome, Geeta.
Thank you so much for your all generous words and kind words, Sabrina. I feel honored to be on your platform and sharing this with lovely women, because it's very important to get your message out and how all my struggles of being, like you said, not looking at my pocket and following my passions, I did struggle for long years, to overcome that factor, like, okay, and what am I doing, literally in the logical world. They would say, why would you do that, but then I realized, like you said, the passion, it wasn't a passion, it was such a beautiful journey, the whole process of becoming who you are and just being very authentic of who you really are, and how you're presenting yourself and your message to the world. So that was a really good learning for me. And like I so many times I tell people, especially the young, smart, professional, non-professional woman, any woman or from any walks of life, like you need to understand yourself much better. That's what the whole journey is all about. And to take it a little further, like I was born and brought up in India, and as we all know, what India is known for, basically, it's more so like for its spirituality and the place of yoga, the origin of yoga, and things like that, right? So and I was quite familiar with those terms as well. But then in India, it's a very basic learning, like you have to become something, like in the world of pocket. I would keep using that. So you have to earn your degrees, and I did my pharmacy, I did all that. I moved here, I got married to a wonderful person, and then when I moved here, everything was fine. Everything was going very smoothly, like everybody else. Like you are married, you have a great job, you are earning well, you are going, you're following a very mechanical life, getting up in the morning, going to labs, doing your stuff, writing inventions. People are just applauding you. Wow, what great brains you have, things like that. So, and you do get carried away. Yes,
Yeah.
you do. And I'll be talking in details when I became emotional intelligence coach and how I everything came to such a great knowing that what I was doing and what I'm doing right now. So I really got flowed with all those applauds and things and doing the regular stuff. I kept doing it for 12 years, little bit around 12 years. And I was happy, to be honest with you, happy in a sense, like how the world wants to look at me, right?
Yeah.
So I had two beautiful boys, children, everything was on track and everything. But then somebody I met that time, and she was such a learned person, in a sense of wisdom, She told me you could be much more than you can think of. And she told me you'll be a writer. And I was looking at her. I said, wow, I'm sitting in my boardroom with conference and I'm talking about my knowledge of so-called analytical world. And she's telling me, yeah, you could be more. And I said, okay, fine. But I just laughed it off. But like I said, sometimes the lie would show you things are, either you can take them or leave them. But as I was that time, I left it there. I
Yeah.
said, okay, probably, I don't know what is she talking about. She's into a different world. She's not talking about like the data I'm showing her, and she's into a different world. So she said you could impact people and things like that. So I'm, oh, okay, okay, we'll talk later. Let's meet somewhere.
Yeah.
It was like such a crazy thing. And she was my senior and she was so much more. And then I left it there. Everything was going again as so. It happened so that I followed my passion. Now I'll be talking about to women about passion. What passion is really, because people get confused. So usually in my workshops and my webinars, I talk about 3 P's.
Okay.
Now, what are 3 P's? It's your passion, it's your pleasures, and it's your purpose, and how they are different and how they're interconnected.
Wow.
So, let me talk about the pleasures. So, pleasures, you have plenty of them. Like you love coffee. Like let me ask you this, Sabrina. What do you really like the most?
Kombucha.
All right, great.
I
So
was
that
thinking of drinks.
yeah,
So
right.
the coffee. So I
Yeah,
love kombucha. Yeah.
yeah. So you love kombucha. So that's your pleasure.
Yeah.
So you can have as many pleasures in your life as you want, and they keep changing as you progress in your years, and what you do, like what you like when you were 15 and what you like now. It's such so much of difference over there. And it's good that your pleasures keep changing. You're not stuck to the same boundaries of it. So that those are your pleasures. You can have one, you can have 10, you can have 100, and so on, and it's number. But let's talk about your passions.
Okay.
So, to everybody, to all your viewers, passion is something which is just you have to count handful one, two, and three. That's it. You cannot change your passions. Yeah, correct. You're born with them. That's your blueprint. That's in your DNA. That's who you are, literally. So people get confused when I talk to them about their passions because they know my passion is driving, my passion is traveling. I said, are you? Let's just analyze it. Is it your passion or you have picked up from someone? Just because you see the progressive people like to travel, like one of my clients, I was doing a case study with her, and she had picked up like one of her friends. So she used to travel a lot, and she was a successful person, right? So she picked up from her and she made her passion. She doesn't know, I love traveling. But when I did work with her, it came down to that wasn't hers.
Wow.
Yeah. So you end up picking up people's passion onto you, and you don't realize it. Like, I love to dress up, I love cars, I love houses, all those external stuff, because they're so easy to pick up. Or the way she talks, the way she presents, all those things, right?
Yeah.
And as a women, we are quite fragile that way. We have not understood ourselves well.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, it could be our spouses, it could be our friends, it families, or it could be a something which you have picked up from your childhood as well.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So people call them passion, but they are not passion, they are pleasures. So you
Okay.
are liking them and you're doing them in the temporary phases of your life.
Okay. But our passions we're born with.
Correct. You're always born with your passions. For instance, Sabrina, what really, really Sabrina likes, like, let's say you love sitting on the beach, for example. You
I,
just love collecting shells. I mean, and
yeah.
like I had a client who was 70 years old when she realized that something she used to do like 50 years back when she was in her 20s was writing. She could channelize her emotions very well when she used to write, and then after, when she got married, she got disconnected from her passion, and she was living miserably when she came to me because she
Wow.
could not connect herself what was going wrong with her.
Yeah. So
And
we're all born with one, two, or three passions.
yeah,
Real.
nothing more. Yeah. If
Okay.
you say that you have lots and lots of passions, we need to talk about. You're wearing a lot of unnecessary hats on yourself. Are
Yeah.
your hats, are those are your personal, blueprint hats, or they are picked up hats?
Wow. Okay. And
So
then
we
what's the third P?
correct, you know. So and you know yourself. Like for instance, some people like to just for instance, if I ask you, Sabrina, what top three words are coming to you right now when we talk about passions? What would you say?
Creativity,
Yeah.
women,
Mm-hmm.
empire.
Correct. Great. So, but any of those, how close are those to yourself for your inner being? Like, I'm sure women, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, it's everything.
Clearly.
I
It's
could do it
every
all day, every day.
great. So you're describing it, which is like authentic you to you, you know?
Yeah,
I'm not putting words in your mouth. You just said what you said. It just came to your mind, and they were your top three, and you have a clarity with that as well.
yeah,
Right, so these are our passions. So since your childhood, when you were like, let's say 15, 10, you might have realized that you were very comfortable with women, or there must have been some inkling with you,
yeah.
but
I've
you
always been the
ignored.
helper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right, but you chose to avoid then whatever the circumstances were, but then you were drawn to it somehow through the life,
yes,
and then you chose again. It's your all your choices, and again you chose to go with it.
yes.
So there's so many people when they come in the later part of their lives, or some of them who have, I have clients like doctors, professionals, IT people. They come and they say, I don't know what my passion is. So then we sit down and we do a complete analysis as assessment of it, because you then choose again. I can tell you, I can do that work with you, but do you choose to move forward with it or not? That's your call.
Yeah,
And once, if you have tapped into your passion well, and if you choose to move with it, leads you to your purpose.
got it. Okay.
Absolute 100%. No stones unturned then. I mean, you cannot deny it anymore.
Yes.
You
Okay.
become more fearless. You become who you are. You don't, like you said, like look at you right now. If I would have met you, let's say 10, 15 years back when you were going through it, you would have been a different person.
Yeah, definitely 100%.
Yeah. So, like people like you and me, we chose to move. Like when I had my struggles to understand deviating from the pocket, I would say, salaried or whatever you want to call it, career to moving to this. And then it was my choice. So
Yeah,
that I overcome my fears about it and overcome the programming of the people, of the society, and then move with my passion.
definitely.
You
That's
know?
awesome.
Yeah, so these are the things we have to look into deeply. And we, during my work with people, especially with women, I've realized it's very unfortunate how many stories we pick up during our lifetime, and we want to stick to them.
Yeah.
So, making the whole thing short, then I was here. Then my first struggling when somebody told me I could be an author, I said, okay, yeah, sure, I'll try one day. But that time I wrote a book when I had opened my shop and I was doing little crystals and things. But then I realized that this is something which is giving me that kind of fulfillment, which that 9 to 5 job could not.
Yeah.
And the people were gravitating towards me, like talking about their issues and things like that. And I said, what is going on with me? You know
Yeah.
why? I'm getting that kind of compliment, that okay, can I come to you for advice or for so and things like that. So they were had started building on me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And during that time I was started to realize, okay, something more to it is, and let me, being analytical mind and being a former scientist, I have to now do my research, right?
Yeah.
How good we are.
Yes.
We all do that, right? So
Yes.
let me do my research, let me take out my pen paper, let me see what's going on, let me analyze it, what's happening with me.
That's awesome.
And then slowly and gradually, I few people came in, and then I said I'll give it a shot, and after that it became very big. And I started to realize that people, they need more from me, but not as a pharmacist or as a scientist, but probably like this, which would, I mean, with the support of my family, which would give me some kind of fulfillment of my life, and so to say, purpose.
Yes. Yes. That's awesome. I love that. I love that.